G'day, Steve here, Woodworking Masterclass. I'm at the Timber Stash at the moment. I'm changing workshops and doing all sorts of different things. But I thought I'd better post a video so I'll show you the process I'm using to making new workbenches and also a sausage stuffing station. So first of all, I've got to get some of this timber, start processing it. Not exactly what you'd expect to find in a box timber store. This is good timber. It's blackwood. I really like my timber to be air dried. This has been sitting out here for about 6 or 7 years in the weather. It's had the wind going through it, the heat of summer, the rain, and when this is processed, it'll be stable. And I know it's dry and seasoned, which is the important thing. Okay, off to the shed. Okay, now I've got all the noisy stuff out of the way, I can actually talk to you. So, as I explained before, because these are going to be laminated, what I've found is I don't have to joint them or straighten them, because if they've got a little couple of bows in them, like this one for example, it really doesn't matter, because under pressure they're going to be squeezed up and glued, and those bows will straighten out. The only thing I'm not keen on is if I get a twist. So if I've got a little bit of a bow, that's fine. A little bit of a bend, that's okay. And now what I've got to do, because they're all different size thicknesses, I've got, just because when I was reclaiming them, to give you an example, right, they're different widths or thicknesses. And even that's got a big shake through it. Doesn't matter, because it's all going to get glued up. So what I'm going to go through now is sort it out so I can split up the narrow boards and the wide boards and get an even distribution. Bit like dressing the boards so they look nice. So I haven't got all skinny pieces up here and fat pieces up here. So that's what I'm going to do now. But the first thing is to sort the skinny boards out and then the fat boards, and then if there's any medium ones, I'll do that. And then I'll show you how I put them into an order that is quite pleasing to the eye. All right. And I'm not measuring these, I'm just looking at them and saying, oh, they're skinny, they're fat, they're skinny. I've got more than I need because I actually want to be 500 width, and I'm looking at 550. So what I can do then is I sort through them, and if there's some that really are a bit manky and I don't want them, I can take them out, but I've got that opportunity to select the boards that I want to use. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 skinny ones, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 not skinny ones. So what I'm thinking of doing, I'll start out with fat ones on the edge, and then, because, what did I say, 16 to 14. I don't need that many, but what I'm thinking straight away is the narrow ones I'll put in the centre, but I'll have thicker ones towards the outside. So these two are going to be my outside, and then what I'll do is fill them. I might put 2 smaller ones in there, 2 small ones there, and then build that out, and then we'll put 2 in there, get another 2 there, and 2 slightly wider ones, like that, and we can put 2 narrow ones, 2 more narrow ones. I've got a bit of red here, so I'll put a red one either side. And then we might go 3 there, 3 there, and 1 in the middle, and I'll just measure that, see how we're looking. Okay, it's 450, so I've got another 2 inches to go, which is about 4 or 3 boards. So let's have a look. So I've got the wide ones left. In the middle, I did those 3, so I might put a wide one in between those 3 narrow ones I put in the middle. And I reckon that's going to be pretty close to what I'm looking for. And that'll be spot on 500, which is exactly what I want. And I like this, and so I'm going to have this on the outside because it's got a bit of sapwood on there. I might put it that way to the bottom. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it up in 2 stages. Instead of doing 500 together, I'm going to do 2 lots of 250, put them through the thicknesser, get them to size, then I glue the 2 together, then put it through the thicknesser, and everything's going to be nice and flat. So I've got to count these out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. What I might do too, not so important with this, but if you're doing some layouts, it's good to number them, so I'll number them. And then I know which is up. As generally happens, I go to pick them up and I drop them. It doesn't matter because they're numbered and I'll get them right. I find the best way to do this is brush it on. And I'm using Type Bond 2, but I've watered it down. As you can tell, it's a bit sloppy. And the reason for that is I can spread it easier. And these are only laminations. They're not a structural stress point, so I don't need full strength. But having said that, this is the same way as I make my workbench tops. And I haven't had one delaminate on me yet. So as you can tell, it's pretty watery. Nowhere near the 10% they say you can water it down to. It's marvellous. Now I put baking paper down and then I miss it. Now I've got clamps set up on the floor and they're all ready to go. So what I will do is put as many of these together as I can, and then I'll pick them up and clamp them. It's a messy process. You've got to be pretty quick. It's not the sort of thing you can dilly-dally about. And make sure you get them up the right way. Several times, or many's the time. I've done what I've done, I've marked them all out, and then when I put them down, I put them down backwards. So that's another good reason for having numbers, so you can make sure they're all on the same side. And I really should have my apron on to do this, because when I pick this up, I'm going to get glue all over the front of my shirt. But most of my shirts are just rags by now anyway. Got more glue on them than stitches, I think. But I don't have to get dressed up to come to the workshop, do you? Okay, I'm going to put paper over the clamps themselves so we don't get glue on the clamps. Okie dokie. If I can do this without making a complete mess of everything. Well, that happens. You get that in a big job, they tell me. And another good reason to have them numbered. Okay. See if you can even them up, roughly even on one end, because if you allow it to be too staggered, you might find out when it comes to cleaning it up, you haven't got enough length. And there we go. Now all I've got to do is exactly the same and clamp that together. Hopefully this time without dropping it. And I'll see you tomorrow when the glue's dry and we can put it through the thicknesser, have a look to see what we've got, then glue it together, and the day after that, do it again. I've got to do the same process with the legs, only they're only going to be 4 bits glued together, not 15 or 30 like the bench top. All right, that's as far as I can go now. See you in the next little bit, in a little bit.